Everybody will join us. Everybody will join us. If not, that's okay. Hello, this is USA Today Emiliano Zapata. We're in character like the 1911, 1910, 1900 to 1910 Emiliano Zapata. It's if you Google Emiliano Zapata, you will find him in what do you call it? Emiliano Zapata. You'll find Emiliano Zapata if you Google him. See what happens. Stand by, stand by. No, it's not working out. Yeah, it's almost 8. Oh, it is. It's 8 o'clock. We usually begin with oh yeah. Hello. It's Friday Reds. We're gonna do a quick show today. Hopefully you guys will enjoy this really short Friday Reds. Um, yeah, we'll see what happens. All right, here we go. It's past 8. It's 3 minutes after 8. We do the log in to the virtual Garden of Eden, secret Garden of Eden. It's a virtual secret garden. And again, it's how to log in. Um, Our Father, who art in heaven, holy is thy name. I'll repeat that name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Give those who trespass against us, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For the kingdom and the power and the glory are yours. This is Friday Reds. Every Friday we have a little video vlog, and I'm in character as Emiliano Zapata. I'm wearing a charro representing the ancient Mexican culture, well, the vaqueros. But the charro represents the Alta California, Philippine, Mexico, as I posted on my Instagram and Facebook, the long history of being colonized by New Spain, and then of course the United States. Some were deported and some came back to the USA, the California lands, but I'm just telling the story of past, present, and future. So I'm wearing this hat to represent the past. That's what I'll do. The charro as the past. And then I'll wear a modern day cowboy hat. This is a vaquero hat. Vaquero. And a revolutionary hat from 1900 to 1923 when Pancho Villa was assassinated. But the Civil War of Mexico parallels the current political atmosphere today with our political leadership that the people of the United States voted for. So we have to kind of like, once we're in the virtual Garden of Eden, secret Garden of Eden, we have to, so I'm going to remove this hat because this would represent Mexico. And I would wear the cowboy hat, the American cowboy hat, which still a lot of Chicano or Mexican Americans would wear the cowboy hat. And most would just say, some would say I pledge allegiance, but we're going to do the Constitution, the mission statement of the U.S. Constitution, because people seem to not have it as much as the Star Spangled Banner. But of the two, Constitution U.S., the preamble is really the priority. That should be embedded. It should be in every household, every sports, that the mission statement of the U.S. Constitution must be well known from K to 12 to seniors, to working adults. That the K to 12, or the U.S. Constitution's mission statement. So I've had this outfit because I was trying to work on a music video parody of several legendary actors of the past, Clark Gable and Burt Reynolds and Marlon Brando. So we have to say the preamble of the U.S. Constitution. It has to be the priority. So we're gonna go it, and we're gonna sing it as the Star Spangled Banner, and we're gonna open with "We the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, to ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light, oh, what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave? All right, let's talk about the past, present, and the future. Past week, I watched two good movies. The Blue Beetle. I highly encourage people to go watch The Blue Beetle. It's Chicano American life for Hispanics, Mexican Americans in the United States. But it's a DC fictional character, superhero named Blue Beetle. And he happens to be of Mexican American family. So please go watch it. I enjoyed it. Like any superhero Marvel comics, there's a specific film genre that people watch and enjoy. I enjoyed it. Okay, so then I watched Gran Turismo. That's this just past few days ago. It's a video game. Like several years ago, Japanese developed software, game software, and one of those gaming software was actually a simulator, racetrack simulator called Gran Turismo, and the movie was about kids that've been gamers since they were little kids, had this passion to want to be in the racetrack, but most of their lives they've been in the video game, playing the simulation game. And so one of the executives of Nissan, they wanted to join the racing team, but wanted to make it more interesting. And so the movie was about how that came about, and how it broke a record, and it was one of the passion for why software simulation software. I encourage your kids that, especially in driving, you buy that for your kids at an early age, and there's a highly chance that you can become a racer. My younger brother Zald, he's a year younger than me, Zaldi, and when we were kids, we enjoyed cartoons like Speed Racer, and I would always be like the older brother Racer X, and he would be the younger Speed Racer. He loved racing, and he had a go kart, and I was hoping he pursued it. But like anything else in American culture, we have a lot of distractions and derailment, and money making was the priority versus pursuing a passion. So my younger brother, I don't know if he still pursue it, but I one of my cars that I acquired from a bad business was a Porsche and turbo, and so I didn't have time or anymore to maintain it, so I let him maintain it and enjoy it and pursue any of his racing dreams. But I haven't. I hope he has seen the movie Gran Turismo. My younger brother, Saul, if you're watching this, have Lynn buy you a Gran Turismo driving simulation game, or even his kids can buy it for, you know, so that his dream can be accomplished. But go watch the movie Gran Turismo. It's a very good movie. I liked it. It was pumped up and very exciting. So I usually do a begin, middle, and end on analyzing movies like Gran Turismo and Blue Beetle, and how the scripts is written, beginning, middle, and end. If it's a linear script or circular script. I don't know if you guys ever, my audience there, can write screenplays or playwrights and understand the different audiences and how stories are told. Alright, anyways, but critiquing it as a viewer, and you know, and I just saw like a little thing on Facebook of My Big Fat Greek Wedding. They're remaking, or there's a continuous a sequel to it, and yeah, the actress, Hollywood didn't give her a go when she was pursuing, but she wrote about her being a Greek, and that's valuable because every American has stories. We all have stories that are similar. Although she's of the Greek culture, there are many different cultures in America that are American, from Irish American to Japanese American to Italian Americans. They all have stories. And for myself, Filipino Mexican, we still have a lot of stories to tell. And I hope viewers out there watching this Friday night, Friday Reds, can appreciate what I'm saying, that writing is an important thing. Although Writers Guild is on strike, doesn't mean that it's going to be forever. But it's the business model in Hollywood that's broken, and it needs to be corrected so that the writers, the authors of stories, they benefit all the way to the lifetime of the story that's made and distributed to different platforms or theatrical releases or video game releases. there should be a benefit for the intellectual property authors, or even the craftsmen that molded to a better story, taking a adaptation of, like say, a book or someone's song or whatever, and adapt it to a full feature, or uh, a TV series. That's the power of writers and Writers Guild. But without the voice of Filipino Mexicans or Chicanos, those stories, our stories, my stories, are not told. So my responsibility is to write stories, but also try to produce them from my point of view as a modern day USA Emiliano Zapata. Because, we have to talk about we the people, the Constitution of the United States, and our duties as U.S. citizens. We the people are responsible on voicing out what our needs are, and we vote for a right politician to help better our lives in the United States. And unfortunately, we have those politicians that have been voted by people that go up trying to stop another politician, you know, who are voted by the majority, the popular vote, we the people. And so, you know, although our vote is the popular vote, these electorals uh, have to be responsible voters. And it is believed that the current administration, the responsible electorals, and the popular vote, they pick the right candidate. Because we're at the recovery, recovery from COVID. We're still in recovery. And organizing and recovering, in this last year or two till 2024 doesn't give you a right, whoever other politicians you are, to derail the current executive uh, branch. Sure, legislative and judicial branch, they have their own responsibilities, but the people want, we want better working conditions, better service, immediate response to tragic situations like Lahaina. I mean, August 8th, I was celebrating Emiliano Zapata's birthday, and trying to parallel it to my current life, 2023, from the life of Emiliano Zapata in 1903 to 1910. And, you know, the Mexican government, it still has issues. I mean, USA, it can't be compared to the United States government with the 27 amendments, our Bill of Rights, our First Amendment, Second Amendment. I pushed for our 15th Amendment, 1870, was established. The 15th Amendment is for people of color to be able to vote, men, black men, dark skinned men, because they would not allow anybody that's not white to vote prior to the 15th Amendment. So it's very important that in 1870, 15th Amendment was established. And then, of course, the 19th Amendment. It came later on when women were allowed to vote. And I really highly stress there are two upcoming candidates, Marianne Wilson, Marianne Williamson, and Nikki Haley. These two ladies represent the two dominant parties, and one of them has to be. I mean, I I've always asked for, in 2016. I wanted Hillary Clinton to win. I wanted a woman president because I have a daughter. We have daughters. We want them to become leaders, but it has not happened, and we want it to happen. You know, so the past history of America has always been bad, and land grabbing. It's after the Spanish American War, or even before the Spanish American War, the intent of the U.S. government, the 13 colonies, was to expand and manifest destiny. That's what they did. That the businesses, they did that, and in the state of Hawaii they did that. So from 1492 to 1899, USA pretty much was United States pursued this imperialistic heaven on earth, but it wasn't really heaven for indigenous people like myself, because we're still divided. USA divided us, broke our Maharlika kingdom. It was 1946 that they tried to enforce eugenics, division, you know, and basically colonized our ways. But as we understand what happened in the past, you know, I, 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 I'm hurt, but I'm forgiving. As long as they repent, and that's been happening recently. Ever since Harvey Weinstein and Jeffrey Epstein were caught in their corporate greed, and others are being caught. Other abusive leaders in institutions like churches, they're all getting caught, and so it took a Me Too movement and storytellers to really expose the greed, the lust, the seven deadly sins of these men. High percentage are men, and of course, the women, they only obey and follow, which were how they were programmed. So, women need to decolonize their mindset, especially white mothers, having bearing children of various colors. I mean, white women can have black children. White women could have Asian children. White women can have white children. So the beauty about white American women is some of them are very business minded, but the problem with them is they have not won a presidency. There is no major leader in the United States government. Let's see, Condoleezza Rice. Yeah, there's very few, but as far as the president of the United States, 2024, we should support a female president, and that's just my opinion. I do this weekly just to be in uniform, in character as today's United States of America, Emiliano Zapata, and look at the civil war in Mexico, the Mexican government, how two peasant widow people fought to win. Emiliano Zapata and Pancho Villa, how they won, but then they gave back the presidency to educated people that are academics, the same kind of guys that they overthrew, took over again, and that was the biggest problem that Mexico faced, and it still has a problem that there should be an indigenous president of the Mexican government. They said Benito Juarez was, but you can still see in the radio, television and radio transmission network that the Mexican Hispanic still is of Spanish majority from Spain. So the reach of colonization is still powerful. That's why a lot of the indigenous Mexicans, they exodus to the United States, because there's jobs and better opportunities. Because in the 60s, the Chicano movement helped the Chicanos, the Mexican Americans and Filipino Americans in the 1960s. Cesar Chavez and Lariat Leon. Again, Lariat Leon began the Great Strike in Delano, California, and We got a viewer. Hello. So, United States wages and working conditions. You have to have a break after 2 hours. So every employer in the United States have to disclose at the break room, their labor rights and break rights and stuff. And that was due to Larry Leong of California, who he invited a Texan to come to California, Cesar Chavez. But what happened was when I repeat again, Bruce Lee in the 1973, Bruce Lee died for some reason, and Larry Leong also died. And a lot of things happened in 1973, 74. Pornography, adult film began. Adult movies began in 1974. And the microprocessor, the little chip computer began in 1973. The internet began, the internet, DARPA, Department of the Agency for Government to Develop the Internet, began in 1973. And yeah, the Engineering Task Force for the Internet began 1973. All these standards bodies that began to produce the internet 1973. So a lot of things happens in 73, 74. But that was also the era where Bruce Lee's story, the TV series Kung Fu, was basically stolen from him. He was supposed to play the lead. Bruce Lee was supposed to play the lead in Kung Fu, but instead they used David Carradine. And so, Hollywood, AMTP, the business model, they always push for a white leading man, even though the story was about the story of Bruce Lee, Kung Fu. The supporting actors were Asian, but the original character was supposed to be played by Bruce Lee. And then 1993, again, they suppressed Asian Americans from 1973 to, they had follow-ups of copies of Bruce Lee and all this stuff after he died. But 1976, there was conflict. 1977, Chicanos were fighting each other, Filipinos and Mexicans in high schools all over California. They basically were suppressing the Filipino Asian part of the Chicanos, and says, "Oh, Chicanos are all Mexicans," even though the Chicanos are a combination of Asian and Hispanics, in California, not outside of California, and so those stories need to be told, and a lot of these hijacked stories. We have to stop it. We have to stop the hijack because he who tells his stories, victor. And so the Hollywood content, the writers and the storytellers in Hollywood and the producers and the executives, they only pick and choose what needs to be produced because they got the money and they have the infrastructure for studios and they have the board members, executives, and for-profit thinking. So every time a Hollywood puts out a content, content is king. The rest of the country, nationwide, they just follow to what the stories that are released by the Hollywood AMTP, and they always want profit and profit-minded businessmen in the business of Hollywood. The business models, and that's old, but back in 10 years ago, maybe 10, 15 years ago, things changed with the streaming technology because of the internet. Again, 1973, the internet began its design, DARPA, computer-to-computer communication, UC Berkeley and UCLA, and all the California colleges were all networked from Northern California and Southern California under a grant from DARPA, the Department of Defense. So the internet was designed to be a network that will never be disabled. And 2023, we got many users being hacked, scammed, you know, because the internet and the phone, the telecom and the internet have been merged. And so now you got these crank callers and victims. So imagine I'm a retired individual in the telecom industry and I got hacked because I got scammed. Somebody threatened that the because my name, I have a Mexican name, but it's, I use an American name, E.MEL, but some Mexican drug cartel has the same name as I am, and they're saying that a package in my name, and then the agency that called me, pretending to be an agency of the U.S. government, I got scammed, you know, and I don't know why I allowed it, but I was just going through a lot of emotional stress and things going on in early 2022. Yeah, oh yeah, January 2022. I was trying to put together a music video, a union music video, and I was dealing with the music department, and they wanted me to send the union actress's information through inline to email it or even write a letter. I said, it's not secure. This is not safe. You want me to send sensitive information and send it to you as a actor producer? But this is not. And I don't know if the actress that I used got scammed also, but because I had my sensitive data, I was the lead singer for the music video, but I questioned the process of wearing the producer's hat, the AMTP level, even though I'm not an AMTP, I'm SAG Indie. Submitting that sensitive data should be, like the way the realtors, when people sign contracts, there's a software app that basically packages it in a secured way so that the receiving end, only that receiving end gets. But I need to go to LA to talk to that department. I don't know if other actor producers are experiencing that, but I felt that was a leak. But I already got targeted when 2013 I was shopping at Target, and the seventh figure I used to work there as part-time work to do security work, but then I go shopping to Target and I use my credit card. In 2013 I was hacked. Somebody, the dark web, got a hold of my information, and that's a very big problem online. So there has to be a better way, the old way of submitting. Hello, Nurse Rose. Hello, Hannabella. Yeah, how are you doing? Yeah, so um, just like online voting, I mean, I voted now. I mean, I got to mail this SAG after voting. It's secured. The mailing is as a physical letter to submit your voting selection. So it's a nice to vote because there's an election going on for leadership in our union, SAG after. So they use a physical for security, but I did this thing called one time production only, OPO. This is in the music department, and I don't know. did not communicate well to the rep on that side of the union, and I don't know. Ever since then, I just like something's not right, and this has to be directly. I have to be there. Unfortunately, I'm here in Stanislaus County, and I'm not there in Los Angeles at this time because my priority is just taking care of my elderly mom, and that's about it. I no, but August 8th, I was celebrating Emiliano Zapata's birthday. The real Mexican government. I mean, he was in Morelos, Mexico, near Mexico City. I was celebrating his birthday because of all the Mexican heroes like Pancho Villa, Emiliano Zapata. I'm a little bit more like Emiliano Zapata, the 1910 Mexican Revolution, or if you Google him, Emiliano Zapata Salazar, Google Emiliano Zapata Mexican Revolution or Mexican Civil War from 1903 to 1923, because Pancho was killed in 1923. He was assassinated. Same thing with Emiliano Zapata, April 10th, 1911. But I believe Emiliano Zapata faked his death and took off and hid in one of the New Spain Mexican territories, which is the Philippines. One of them is the Philippines. You know, Puerto Rico, all those other places were of New Spain Mexican territory. But yeah, he's an interesting character, and today would parallel to the problems we have. I mean, especially what happened in Lahaina. I mean, they call it land grab, and many people there are really emotionally hurt. And I was emotionally hurt when the last time I was at Lahaina. Um, I went through a divorce, and it was like 33 years ago. And when Lahaina was burning 19. I mean, August 8th to 11th. I had to write a song, and if you look at my Instagram, you could find that song. I'm revising it and improving it. I'm gonna release it when, like most of my projects, I had a song out called "Lucky Woman." It's available on Spotify. Look for artist E.MEL. Song title "Lucky Woman," and I was just trying to do business pre-planning to put together a music video, shoot it here locally in Stanislaus County, Cowboy Town, Oakdale, California. There's a cowboy museum there, but everything kind of like my thinking changed. So I got started Instagram, looking at all the local Lahaina residents and what they're going through, seeing what they post, and Miss Courtney and Miss Rejoice, or Mrs. Rejoice and Mrs. Courtney. They've been posting, what's been happening, and of course, uh, late this week, Jason Momoa arrived in Maui. He's there and interacting with the Kanakas, and then Oprah and The Rock, because The Rock is from Hawaii, and Oprah, I guess she wanted to retire there, so she felt Lahaina is a good retirement place because a lot of celebrities are there, and the environment, artistic galleries. Lahaina is a beautiful tiny town, but it's where Kanakas mainly. It's their base, and people. But they're trying to remove terrorism. The local Kanakas, but no, you should restore the way it is. Restore the galleries. Restore. Revive the banyan tree because it has history from the beginning. It will still be more popular. But yeah, people they wanna. I don't know. Local folks they've just been burned so many times in Hawaii. Indigenous people there. That's how they feel. I mean, like anywhere else, like California, Alta California, Philippines, Mexico. We've been injured. We're still injured from the colonizers. It still hurts our spirit, our heart. The records are still there. The history is still there. It's still embedded in our DNA, our spiritual DNA. It's still like Filipinos and Mexicans. We've been divided. We've been split. Somebody's been mucking with us. That Mexican revolution in Mexico, in Emiliano Zapata and Pancho Villa. Somebody this basically corrupted the government of Mexico. And now, because of this 2023 conflict with COVID-19, China, Communist Party, and their acts of bullying West Philippine Sea and want to grab Taiwan for their greed, a lot of people now are focusing on Mexico and Canada. But then you see a lot of fires, a lot of fires in Canada. And so maybe the Chinese or Communist Party Chinese are firing and shooting lasers and causing fires all over Canada. There's a lot of fires, wildfires in Canada. And there's wildfires in the US, and people say it's, climate change, global warming. I don't know, these are just my observation as an individual, but while I'm in the, what I call the virtual secret Garden of Eden, as what happens when a person dies, it's afterlife, that you need to, have your soul and spirit clear of sins, unload all the lies and remove all the lies and all the deadly sins in your system, in your spirit and soul, to be able to log in to the virtual Garden of Eden. Because if you watch Ghost Whisperer or any haunted house by Disney recently, and your ghost has to be free, your spirit, when you become a ghost after life, you have to be, finish your whatever your business on earth. You have to log into the East Gate entrance where Abel, the spirit of Abel, brother of Cain, is there checking out every spirit. If any of the bad spirits have the DNA of his brother Cain, because demons exist. And I was just looking at EWTN, and they were doing a interview of William Friedkin, who made the movie Exorcist, and who recently interviewed Father Amorth, who, Exorcist is real. The spirit world, the bad spirit is real. And he also made the film French Connection. And now he's became, in LA, he's become an opera director for the LA Opera. But he's made films like that that's related to, hello, Pasquale Bruna, yeah. Yeah, you can rewind this tape. I'm almost done. It's almost 8:45. But yeah, I mean, the spirit world is no laughing matter. It's a real McCoy. And if suddenly you die like the victims of Lahaina, if they don't have family members that prayed the Holy Rosary, the 9 days novena, if they don't pray the Rosary, they could be like Ghost Whisperer starring Jennifer Love Hewitt. They could be in the limbo on the spirit world on earth. But the This video blog is about the mystery of the secret Garden of Eden, how to enter the Garden of the East Gate. There's only one entrance, there's only one exit, and how you simulate to log in and interact with the guards, the entrance gate, and Abel is there, Saint Peter is there, and of course Archangel Uriel is there. So when your spirit, when you afterlife, when you get into the light, you see the light towards stairway to heaven. The only gate entrance is the east gate of the secret Garden of Eden. That's your entrance to heaven. If you ever read a book called Enoch, the oldest book in the earth, the Ethiopians, it's canon to the Ethiopian Bible. You have to understand. Yeah, hi there, hello. Saint Peter got the keys. Yeah, well, Saint Peter and Abel, as in Cain's brother, he's there. Cain and Abel. So the stories of the Old Testament, New Testament, Saint Jude was for following Enoch, because Enoch was mentioned in the book of Jude, chapter 1. The Old Testament, and a lot of the disciples read the Old Testament, and when they were following Jesus, Yahushua Jesus, they knew about the Garden of Eden. Or what happens when the Castilians colonized New Spain, colonized our territory here in the Turtle Island, Central America, which we call the Old World, is the New World. Because in Yucatan, there are thousands of pyramids. There are advanced, ancient, that the Western world deny the archaeology of the Western world because of the 1850s Darwinism, this white supremacy that they perceived us as inferior and not capable of building pyramids. And only today that became PhDs, the Codex, the Florence Codex, the Nahuatl written language, explains the point of view of Montezuma on how Cortez's greedy, ruthless invasion, and how Columbus's ruthless invasion, how they treated indigenous, peaceful, loving Indians, and how the Western world hijacked our stories, and how they painted us as inferior and savages. And even the Declaration of Independence states we're savages. Anybody that's on the west side of St. Louis are savages. If you read up the Declaration of Independence, the Founding Fathers, which they say they're Freemasons. Freemasons are men of just reason. They don't believe in miracles. And we, faithful indigenous, that's what we're called, Indians, Indios, is we're in God. We are very believers of the Holy Great Spirit. One creator and many angels. And that's, we've been inspired to build Yucatan, Yucatec, the Yakuts here in Stanislaus County, Modesto, the indigenous people here, Yokuts, Yucatecs. Migration up in north, the Aztecs came from up north here, Wisconsin, all the way down. And so now they're seeing, disclosing a lot of the things that were found, the mounds, the Cahokia, pyramids all over the United States, that when the Western world's white supremacy, 1850s Darwinism, the missing link that they couldn't find. So a lot of people hijack, and that's the problem with Hollywood was they were hijacking Asian American his stories. They blocked Bruce Lee and Brandon Lee. They blocked Larry Leong, and Manuel Padilla Jr. and Ernie Reyes Jr. Asian American actors to tell stories. They were very popular in 60s, 70s. In fact, there was a movie called The Flower Drum Song. We were all united. I mean, Americans of Asian heritage and Hispanic Americans, Americans of Hispanic heritage. But when the AMTP, the Writers Guilds, and the Actors Guilds are now complaining about the extreme greed of these executives and not give a percentage for the creators, the filmmakers, from the director, the writer, the actor, the and these are the above the line team, but the businessmen they give these creative guys, the engineers, Imagineers, from director, producer, writer, actors. They're what you call the Imagineers. In Silicon Valley, they're called the engineers, the R&D lab, the research and development team. But you got these business people that all they want is profit, and that's how Silicon Valley works. The same way, profit, profit, profit. And how to survive as a business. But if you don't compensate your R&D department, which the writers and the actors, you know, nothing will get done. But they can use AI, artificial intelligence. All right, it's almost 9 o'clock. So I gotta close. I gotta exit the virtual Garden of Eden. So I usually will say the Star Spangled Banner and ConstitutionUS.com. The preamble is the mission statement of this government. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union. That is the mission statement of the U.S. Constitution government bylaws. And every person in the United States and whoever wants to be a better heaven on earth, USA is the best model government compared to other governments on the world. I mean, human rights is terrible in other parts of the world. And freedom of speech, totally, you can't make a Hollywood movie in certain governments. That's the beauty about Hollywood, or is the ability to express First Amendment. All right. Okay, 5 minutes to go. So I talked about past, talk about the current, present, and the future is really resolving this business model, because greed is everywhere since 1973. They did everything and everything to snuff off people that they don't want. They shaped the image of America as majority white, but then of course Black Power, Black America, slowly. Well, they're now making their own movies like Tyler Perry. But unfortunately, Lahaina's there and Oprah's there, one of the leading black leaders. Hopefully, when she's there and experiencing Lahaina and people there, maybe somebody will write a nice, beautiful script, educate the Hawaiian Kingdom, because it's always been a story about stolen land. Too many stolen land stories. Especially the Cherokee. So my friend Delena Studi, her dad recently passed. Rest in peace to her father. The beauty of being in LA, it's everybody's there, and so you meet people all over from all parts of the United States and all over the world. So when you go to LA or New York, it's basically seeing heaven on earth. Okay, you get to see all walks of life there in Los Angeles and thing. Here in Stanislaus County, Modesto, you really see true U.S. citizens here, Americans, totally Americans here in Modesto, California. The American culture, the car cruising, American graffiti, the beauty of local talent, guitar players, and they have little theater groups, the Gallo Theater as Prospect Theater. So it's not as great a big opportunities like LA, but it's Americana. It's the United States. It's the American culture. All right, so I gotta get going. He who tells the story victors, but we gotta remove the hijack. All right, so we the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, to ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light, oh, what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave? Yeah, let's tell stories. All right, so we're gonna log out of the secret Garden of Eden. It's supposed to say all that colonizers to say was lost, where the location of the Garden of Eden, but recently OphirInstitute.com stumbled on its location. It's revealed back in 2017. It's supposed to be underneath the Philippines, the land of creation. The secret Garden of Eden is underneath the Philippines. That was supposedly the So this is how we log out of the secret Garden of Eden virtually this Friday Reds every show. Good night, everybody. Our Father, who art in heaven, holy, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive those who trespass against us, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For the kingdom and the power and the glory are yours now forever. So we're logged out of the virtual secret Garden of Eden, and we're back on Earth as a ghost because we want to still, like the Ghost Whisperer or the movie Ghost by Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore. His ghost has still had unfinished business until we've finished our business as in the spirit world. We're still in a bin, and Abel, brother of Cain, still monitors our activities. And what I'm talking about is in the book of Enoch. And of course, New Testament and the Catholic faith, like Father Moore, and the movie filmmaker for Exorcist, that there are bad spirits that are still there. The Exorcists, these demons, they're descendants of Nephilims, bad spirits. They exist. They're real. They're the disobedient ones that are always against what's good. Hey, official nerdy music. Hey, hello, and I hope you're there. We're at the 1870 Brewing on 911 J Street, where Jamie Nerdy is performing. How are you doing? I hope it went well. Hope it's documented. 9 o'clock, I'm done. Just wanted to thank you for watching this quickly. You can rewind this Instagram, and I'm going to upload this on YouTube and go from there. But have a nice weekend. Enjoy the first of the month. It's the BER month. Burr. September, October, November, December. The BERs. In the Philippines, they begin Christmas or are starting to celebrate, right? In the islands, Guam, Hawaii, the Maharlikans. But, we were divided, so a lot of the Polynesians think they're the only Hawaiians, but Hawaii was a territory of Maharlika. That's another story to tell, but I just wanted to thank the recent the recent stories and things, but have a nice weekend and rewind, and please go watch Gran Turismo and Blue Beetle. I make an effort to watch new movies all the time to improve my writing skills. The more you watch, the more you read, the more you have a better point of view, and you actually also could remove writer's block. Hey, Piper James sent me something here. Hey, right on. Anyways, I gotta go. I'll see you guys later. Aloha, mahalo, and God bless. Everybody will join us. If not,